Hi, welcome everybody. It's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy, and we're going to talk a little bit about hybrids today, and maybe sometimes how we tend to see a hybrid move more right to left through the air. So it's easy for, I think, for a golfer, especially maybe the better player, to turn a hybrid over more left. And it's interesting to see how Ping, and they launched their new G410 hybrid, are now actually offering a flat lie option in the next setting, which we've not seen from any other brand before. And obviously that makes a little bit of sense of trying to miss that left shot out of the game. So we're going to talk a little bit about lie angle of hybrids and test both the standard lie and the flat lie and see how that maybe changes my ball flight down the range. Okay, so I've got a 3 hybrid, which is a 19 degree, and as I say, we tend to see hybrids generally made by manufacturers a little bit more toe up, so a little bit more what we call a more upright, because the toe goes more up, lie angle, because majority of golfers will tend to hit the ball left to right, and I think the type of golfer who would maybe replace their long irons for a hybrid would be maybe a sort of mid to maybe high handicap golfer, and they tend to, as I say, hit the ball left to right. So that slightly more upright will try and stop that and work the ball left. But if you're a golfer with a delivery that's maybe a little bit on the inside and tends to maybe close the club face a little bit through impact, then that upright lie isn't helping you out, because that's going to exaggerate more of that left shot, and that's where I think some golfers will struggle with sometimes with a hybrid. So as I say, Ping, the new G410 hybrid, as well as the fairways and drivers, have actually offering a flat lie. So it's standard, you can move the loft around, but they've also got a flat lie. So the flat lie is basically going to allow them to push the toe more down, okay, which is going to help you to maybe keep the ball more neutral or more to the right in terms of a biased. So be interested to see that. I'm looking forward to testing that, because again, mine misses left, and I would tend to maybe move away from a hybrid because I don't want to see that left shot. So I've got this in a standard lie, playing it at 19 degrees, and we're going to hit a few shots for this first, get some numbers off GC2 HMT on the ground, and then we'll move into that flat lie option. Okay, that's a little bit low in the club face there. Just worked fractionally up that left hand side, nothing major, it's not really turned over, just started a little bit more up that left side. 213 yards on its carry. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I feel like I can get a little bit more of. That's just started a touch left and then turned over. That's the one that it sort of scares me a little bit more with hybrid. I feel I can get, so that's missed 20 yards left. So, you know, you appreciate hitting into a green, that's missing by quite a bit, isn't it? Yeah, there's another one that's just worked a little bit left. Some good ones in there, but then I've seen more of that left. Not seeing anything really go right there, but seeing a little bit more of that left. Okay, so I'm going to switch the next setting round. I'm going to keep the loft exactly the same at 19 degrees, but we'll just move it into that flatter lie angle. Okay, so just change that next setting around now. We've got it in standard loft, so keeping it at that 19 degree of loft, but now just flatten that lie off. So when I say flatten, as I said earlier, basically what it does, it keeps the head in that sort of position, but it flattens the lie. So ultimately, when you stand back in your normal position, the toe of the club is going more down to the ground, okay? And that's what we call sort of flattening it off. So as I put that down by the golf ball, how does that visually look to me? And I notice it. I mean, bearing in mind I'm 6'5", so generally a more upright lie would suit me. So in my irons, I've got the irons are more upright in the actual lie angle. So to me, anything that looks flatter than what I'm used to, because of my height, looks really extreme to me, and it looks really sort of toe going into the ground. So I think it depends on your height of you as an individual. Obviously, if you're shorter, then when you see that lie, that actually might sit that toe back towards the ground and may give an appearance that the sole sits a lot more flush to the ground, which probably will look better to you as opposed to that toe stuck up in the air. Post your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, to be honest, in terms of how that club sits when you address the golf ball. I think sometimes just going away from this a little bit, but sometimes when when golfers sit an iron down, they see a lot of that toe in the air, and they're always trying to manipulate the handle up to try and get it to lie flat. But you've got to remember, through impact, we always tend to lift the handle a little bit. We've also got centrifugal forces that gets the shaft sort of bowing a little bit. So we've got to take those into account, and we've got to be measuring it through impact, which obviously what launch monitor does. So as I say, when I put that down, I do notice that to be more toe down. Okay, let's hit some shots and see if this changes the flight direction. Okay, so that looked quite neutral. That come out quite nice. Little bit of that right hand side, but not a lot of side spins. That hasn't faded up that right. That's just started in just a little bit of a different direction, which is interesting. Yeah, again, that's pushed up the right. It hasn't faded, just pushed fractionally. Yeah, it's not a lot, to be honest, but I can't see that turning over left, which is quite appealing. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, very different ball flight visually. Really interested to sort of see some numbers. Definitely not seeing anything really working right to left, and a very different sort of shot shape of pattern. So let's go and look at those numbers a little bit more details between that standard lie and that flat lie. Okay, so just before we look at the numbers, we can see the shot dispersion. So the white ring was the standard lie, the red ring was the flat lie. So you can see very noticeable difference of shot direction there. So obviously the white standard lie a little bit more left miss, and the red one a little bit more of a right miss, but a little bit more neutral, a little bit more compact in terms of that dispersion ring. Okay, so look at the numbers here, and really the numbers I'm more focused about is actual start direction of the golf ball. So we can see I average starting with the standard lie 0.4 of a degree left of target, but then had 322 left spin, which is right to left spin. So it starts a touch left, then turns over a little bit more left. So my average miss there was 15 yards left of target. Some good ones in there, but obviously a couple of big misses left. When I go to the flat lie, you can see the start direction actually changes. So I'm starting the ball more right of target. So 2.1 more right start with less than draw spin. So you can see that's working a little bit more that right side of the golf course, or just right side of target, which is I like personally, because as I say, I don't like missing that left. And you can see my average miss there was 6 yards right, with only one move in left, a little bit of a leaky one, 14 yards right, maybe even that 11 right there, but definitely nothing that's sort of really turning over left sharply. Okay, so interesting comparison there between those just the lie change there, not change face angle, just and not change loft, just change that line. How that lie is really important. We see that through iron fittings. You know, it makes sense we get these lies right, because obviously making a lot more contact with the ground with an iron than we are maybe with the woods through contact. So lie is quite important, but more important so is that shot direction, isn't it? And that's I think Ping have done a really good thing there, making a flat lie option. Because imagine, I mean, I'm an extreme, I'm 6'5", but imagine somebody who's quite short, you know, and then that as they go shorter, that lie goes more, because the hands are going to go lower, aren't they? So that's going to pop that toe up even more. Bear in mind, hybrids tend to be more of that upright lie anyway, to try and stop that left to right fade, slice, whatever you want to call it. So, but then with the golfer who gets shorter, that's going to sit more like that. Okay, so then it makes sense to, you can see him, possibly he comes in with a slightly shut face or hits it slightly toe, it gears. That's a big miss left, isn't it? So if he can get that lie flatter and make that more down that way in terms of that sole to the ground, then it's got a better chance of starting that ball more neutral and trying to get a control of it. So I think that's a great move from Ping there. I think you'll see a lot of the better players maybe putting the Ping hybrid in there because of that flat lie option, and like what I've seen there, not missing that ball left. Post your comments down below, let me know your thoughts with that video and in terms of that lie angle. And obviously this process is definitely for you to go into and test through a fitting environment is crucial. You know, there's loads of different settings there. It's find out what your lie is like, what your shot direction, obviously launch monitor can tell you all that. So ultimately important for you to go and get fit yourself. But post comments down below, I'd love to know your thoughts as always. If you haven't subscribed and you're enjoying the content, then smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, get notifications of any future videos. As soon as I land on my channel, you'll be the very first ones to watch it. Also hook up on my social media platforms, both Instagram and Twitter at MN Golf Coach, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.